This episode of FineScale Modeler's new product rundown features Trumpeter's big F-35C, Tamiya's Nissan Z, ICM's Unimog, Flyhawk's Formidable, a book about the Hiryū, decals from Bobs, Bandai's Grogu, Italeri's Coloniale, Airfix's Mozzie, and Takom's floating dry dock.
New product rundown brought to you by Hobby Zone USA, your source for hobby storage solutions, hard to find hobby tools, and aftermarket modeling needs. And by Cult TV Man's Hobby Shop, the place to go for science fiction and fantasy kits, details, masks, decals, and more.
Welcome to New Product Rundown, FineScale Modeler's twice monthly look at the latest kits. I'm Aaron Skinner.
And I'm Tim Kidwell. Let's get in the air, let's catapult, let's launch. Let's just get going with Trumpeter's new 1/32nd scale F-35C.
This is the navalized, if you will, version of the Lightning II designed for use on standard aircraft carriers.
It features a larger wing and control surfaces than the rest of the F-35 family for better slow-speed control during carrier operations.
Other features include toughened landing gear and a tailhook. This is the first F-35 from Trumpeter and the first F-35C in 1/32nd scale, period.
Typical of F-35 kits we've looked at in the past, much of the airframe is molded in upper and lower halves. Here the wings extend to the folds. Surface detail includes slightly raised areas for the ram panel lines and petite rivets. Edges for vents and intakes are scale thin. Underneath are openings for the gear and weapons bays, as well as the tailhook. The wingtips, horizontal, and vertical stabilizers have similar detail. Control surfaces, such as the leading and trailing edge flaps, are separate, and optional parts allow the wings to be posed folded.
Cockpit detail comprises a comprehensive ejection seat, pedals and controls, tub with molded controls on the consoles, rear bulkhead, sides, instrument panel and shroud, and other small details. The wheel wells and weapon bays show plenty of molded and added detail, and separate hinges are provided to pose the doors open. There's no indication that they can be modeled closed. The nose gear leg has optional parts to pose the catapult link up or down. The main gear legs are sturdy, and the plastic wheels receive rubber tires with tread and sidewall detail. The tail hook comes in two parts.
Engine detail includes full intakes that meet at the power plant inside with a body, front and rear fans, stator blades, plumbing, and the nozzle. Photo-etched metal brass supplies some engine details as well as seat belts. The external and internal canopy frames are separate, and the canopy can be posed open. Other clear parts give wingtip lights and the electro-optical targeting system housing.
The internal weapon bays can be loaded with a pair of GBU-31 JDAM bombs and a pair of AIM-120 AMRAAMs. Pylons are given for the wings to fit up to 4 BLU-109 JDAMs or up to 4 GBU-12 bombs and 2 AIM-9X sidewinders.
Decals provide instrument panels, weapons stencils, and markings for 3 U.S. Navy F-35Cs, 2 from VFA 101 Grim Reapers, and 1 from VFA 147 Argonauts.
This is a big, detailed model. It would look great on a shelf next to Italeri's F-35A in 1/32nd scale, so you can compare the differences.
Let's hit the streets with Tamiya's kit of Nissan's latest Z car.
This 7th generation of Nissan's famed sports car features a new body and drops the line's numerical references.
The sleek body has crisp outlines for the doors, hood, and trunk. The front and rear clips and trim parts are separate, as is the roof. This last should make painting easier.
The curbside model's mechanicals are represented by the 6-speed manual transmission that attaches to the underside. The front suspension hides the absent power plant. Other parts represent the rear suspension, brakes, steering, springs, drive shaft and differential, the exhaust system, and rear structure.
Inside, the floor pan features the trunk deck. Other interior details include 3-part bucket seats, optional left and right-hand drive dashboards and center console with separate shift lever and handbrake, door panels with separate pocket inserts and trim, steering wheel and pedals.
Rubber low-profile tires with good tread fit around well-molded rims. Each of the crystal clear windows and light lenses are separate, and masks are provided.
Decals and metallized stickers provide badging, trim, marker lights, mirrors, dash and gauge faces, metal tread for the pedals, door and window controls, speaker screens, and more.
As always with Tamiya, it's produced a good-looking kit of what I think is a really sharp-looking sports car.
Yes. Let's keep this kit train rolling with ICM's all-new tooling of the Unimog S404, which was the West German Army's primary cargo truck through most of the Cold War.
This 1/35th scale kit represents the first time that this particular version of the Unimog has been kitted in injection molded plastic.
Typical of the Ukrainian company's other truck kits, the frame has separate rails and cross members. Other suspension and frame details include springs and shocks, front and rear axles with differentials, and detailed engine with transmission and transfer case. The nicely molded wheels include the offset portal axle gearboxes and sandwich solid vinyl tires.
This kit represents the Cabrio version of the 404 with a soft top and no side windows. The cab features seats, dashboard, windshield, and separate hood. The bed has a detailed floor and sides with stamped metal walls and tailgate with tie-downs molded on and separate frames. Again, typical of ICM's recent vehicle kits, small parts like mirrors and linkages are extremely finely molded.
Clear parts provide individual panes for the bifurcated windshield, a rear window for the soft top, and headlight lenses.
The small decal sheet supplies dashboard dials and markings for 4 German trucks, including one from the Luftwaffe in 1970 and another from an artillery training unit, and one from a tank battalion in the 1980s wearing NATO camouflage.
Given how this vehicle was everywhere in West Germany and elsewhere in the world, and it's the first mainstream kit, it's probably going to be popular.
From Flyhawk, here's a 1/700th scale HMS Formidable.
This World War II carrier served in the Mediterranean and North African fronts, launched attacks against German battleship Tirpitz, and operated in the Pacific.
Flyhawk's reputation for beautiful molding is on full display here, especially in the upper hull of this full hull kit, which features petite portholes, brackets, and openings. The flight deck has the catapult and arrestor wires molded on. Beneath it are the lower deck and the armored hangar section. The island is a single slide molded part.
Small parts and fittings, such as the ship's boats, gun tubs, cranes, funnel cap, elevators, turrets, anti-aircraft guns, and mast are finely molded. This deluxe kit includes a full set of photo-etched metal details covering railings, cranes, antennas, davits, and more, as well as brass gun barrels and mast sections.
There's also rigging for the kit's 2 Fairey Swordfish and 6 Albacore biplane bombers. 6 Fairey Fulmars finish the air wing. Optional parts allow the aircraft wings to be displayed folded.
Decals and color diagrams show HMS Formidable in 1941 camouflage and include aircraft insignia and deck stripes.
This is a very detailed kit that will need patience, but will look great finished.
Speaking of ships, here's a terrific book about the Japanese aircraft carrier, Hiryū.
Osprey's Anatomy of a Ship on the Hiryū is a glorious 336-page hardcover filled with photos and history, but useful for anyone building a 1/350th or 1/700th scale kit of the carrier are the pages of scale line drawings and 3D renderings of the ship in all aspects, including cross-sections, deck slices, and details, including the aircraft.
It's hard to imagine that there is a better reference about the Hiryū. Next up, from Bobs Aviation Graphics, here are 4 decal sets printed by Cartograf.
First up, a couple of sheets for the A-10C, starting with Thunderbolts painted in heritage markings. There's an Idaho Air National Guard aircraft painted in olive drab over neutral gray with D-Day stripes, like a P-47, to mark the 75th anniversary of the 405th Fighter Squadron. An A-10 Demonstration Squadron A-10 in Southeast Asia camouflage in homage to POW MIA personnel from Vietnam, and a standard 2-tone gray hog with invasion stripes to mark the 75th anniversary of D-Day.
Next up, a set for 3 A-10Cs from the 122nd Fighter Wing of the Indiana Air National Guard. Known as the Black Snakes, the aircraft carry a cool snake mouth on the nose. One is painted in black and gunship gray to mark the 100th anniversary of aviation in the Indiana National Guard. Both A-10 sheets are also available in 1/72nd and 1/32nd scale.
Here's a 1/48 scale set for one of my favorite aircraft, the F-15. In this case, from the 493rd Fighter Squadron at RAF Lakenheath. The unit is transitioning to F-35s. One is painted in a special scheme to commemorate the squadron's history with the Eagle, including tail and speed brake art. The other three options are all in standard camouflage, but have nose art worn by the aircraft during a 2019 deployment as part of Operation Inherent Resolve against ISIL.
Finally, here's a 1/48 scale set covering a pair of EA-18G Growlers. One of the subjects is from VAQ 137 Rooks at Naval Air Station Whidbey Island, Washington in May 2017. The other is from VAQ 138 Yellow Jackets in January 2022, also at NAS Whidbey Island.
As usual with Two Bobs, they provide great documentation with these sets, and they should look good on any of your models.
Two Bobs does great work. Bandai wins the Cuteness Award for this episode with its 1/4 scale.
Aww.
With its 1/4 scale Grogu from the TV show The Mandalorian.
This kit also includes a 1/12 scale kit of the child that will look good with the company's 1/12 scale figure of the Mandalorian.
Typical of Bandai, the parts are molded in color and designed to be push-fitted together. The cloak is in front and rear halves with stitching and seams. The arms fit into internal sockets for posability. The smaller figure is similar but simpler. The collars and cuffs are molded in tan.
Grogu's flesh is molded in what can only be described as mint green. The kit includes 4 heads, so he can be posed pensive, using the Force, happy or speaking, and eating a frog. There are 2 sets of ears to back up the expressions, as well as hands and feet. The small figure has a single head and hands.
The little guy fits into a floating pram with optional closed lid, all supported by a clear stand. The kit provides stickers for the pram's markings, but no water slide decals.
Honestly, what's not to like? This is a simple but detailed kit that can be built by just about anyone. Great for Build a Model Month.
Which is in November.
But with careful attention to detail, could be a great looking figure.
Next up from Italeri, it's 1/35th scale Fiat 508 CM Coloniale.
Developed from a popular passenger car, the Coloniale featured bigger tires that made it a capable military transport.
While not a brand new tool, it features a fine 1-part frame, integrated rear axle, suspension and drive shaft, engine, and plastic wheels and tires.
The body underside includes the fenders, and the sides have details on the inner faces. One door can be posed open. The split hood fits between the firewall and radiator grille. Inside are 4 seats, a dashboard, and controls. This boxing includes a pair of seated figures with optional headwear. The windshield is represented by a piece of pre-cut clear plastic sheet.
A small decal sheet provides markings for 3 vehicles, 2 Italian and 1 German.
This looks like it should be an easy kit to put together, particularly for fans of soft-skinned military vehicles.
Well, if you have had your fill of aircraft in this NPRD, too bad. Because here's an Airfix 1/72nd scale de Havilland Mosquito.
This is the Mark B16 version, which was optimized for high-altitude operation and was fitted with 2-stage engines and a pressurized cockpit.
Given the aircraft's wood construction, the fuselage halves show minimal surface detail, although the insides have controls and wiring molded on. Where there are panel lines, such as the engine nacelles, wings, and elevators, they are finely recessed.
Cockpit detail includes the floor with wing spars, seat, instrument panel, controls, and even a pilot. The bomb bay can be posed open to reveal fuel tanks and 4 bombs. I really appreciate that Airfix supplies masking blanks for the main gear bays, as well as weighted tires for the detailed gear struts.
The clear parts have extra upper and side pieces, an indication other versions of the Mosquito are headed our way from Airfix. Cartograf decals provide instruments, plenty of stencils, and markings for 2 Royal Air Force aircraft. One with medium sea gray undersides from number 571 Squadron, the other with black undersides from number 109 Squadron.
Unlike its namesake, this kit clearly doesn't suck.
But the Mosquito did draw blood. Finally, let's take a look at Takom's 1/350th scale USS ABSD-1 Large Auxiliary Floating Dry Dock.
This repaired ships in the Pacific from 1943 to 46. It was placed back in service from 1952 to 55 at Guam, then again from 1970 to 86 at Subic Bay in the Philippines.
The full-size dry dock was made up of 10 modules, and the kit mimics that with many of the parts being repeated.
The flotation platforms build from a base and top. Each of the 20 sidewall sections comprises long and short sides, as well as tops and bottoms. The remaining plastic parts include cleats, ramps, and the bodies and supports for the cranes.
You'll need experience with photo etch metal to tackle this kit, as it supplies the gantries for the cranes, walkways, stairs, structures, railings, frames, doors, and much more. A small decal sheet supplies serial numbers and module letters.
This will be large when it's done, about 2.5 feet long, but it would look great with like a 1/350 scale battleship or cruiser in it being repaired.
Look for reviews of the F-35, the Formidable, the Nissan, the Unimog, the Mosquito, and the Dry Dock on FineScale.com.
Yeah, we have more than 2,000 kit reviews on the site now, stretching back more than 25 years, if you can believe it.
Plus a ton of other great content like how-to videos, snapshot PDFs, our downloadable DLC issues, and don't forget to also pick up the November-December issue on sale now.
And while you're there, stop by combathobbystore.com where you can pick up the tools we like to use, books, and some great gifts, including these 2023 calendars featuring aircraft and cars.
Thanks for watching. I'm Tim.
I'm Aaron. Happy modeling.
Let's do that again. Don't use that one either. While not a brand new, you know who's a tool? Anyway, that is funny. Finally, let's take a look.
Finally.
It's been a long show.